One counter that has kind of remained in focus on the back of its Q2 earnings that did come out on in the last week was IndiaMART InterMESH. Now overall things have been improving for this particular counter. We are seeing gains of about 2.7% today also in trade. There are leading indicators that are continuing to improve. There's unique business inquiries which has been growing, but the question really here is whether how much of those inquiries are actually getting converted. Repeat customer rate has been improving for them. Overall collections have been growing at a stable rate as well. Now overall we've seen a good traction and steady traction in core metrics as well, and unique business inquiries are rising, as I mentioned earlier as well. And we spoke to the management about all of this. We spoke to Dinesh Agarwal, who's the CEO of IndiaMART InterMESH. Listen in to what he had to say.
Expecting these inquiries to actually pick up in the second half of FY26?
No, I think as we have started to do some experiment on advertising, and these have grown by moderate percentage, I would say, and they will continue to be in the same range going forward as well.
And the rate of repeating customers, that is improving. Could you just spell out, what could be the rate of this growth going ahead? What will be the outlook for the repeating customers? Because that's a very important point or a chunk in your business model.
Yeah, so as the number of unique business inquiries grows up, because the improvement in the platform is slowly started to result into some buyer-seller experience improvement, and that is reflecting into the repeat customer growth also.
Exactly. And your ARPU numbers, they are up, say, almost 7% on a year-on-year basis. Are you expecting these numbers to, go up? And if yes, what would be the range?
See, typically, if you see, our ARPU numbers have been growing between 6 to 8% historically, barring some quarters here and there. But I guess that's the guidance we have given, that our ARPUs we have been able to consistently increase at 6 to 8%, and that would continue to be the case.
And overall, standalone collections, they were given, rising by almost 8% on a year-on-year basis. Dinesh sir, the higher realizations, will this trend continue going ahead, or are we seeing a kind of a plateauing of these realizations? Because I think Q3 is largely a lumpy quarter as well when it comes to realizations historically. So what's your view on that?
Yeah, so if you see, we have been slowing our net customer addition, and that is causing our collections to be in this range of 8 to 10%. And we will probably see if we can move up to the double digits in the second half. But that's what I can say right now.
And lastly, sir, the question remains is of AI. Looking at the AI front, a lot of data you have been capturing, and since our last conversation, you spoke about, usage of AI and LLM models also in your business model, and it's required. So what's the status of, progress happening in this sector, and actually, is it actually benefiting you in cost reduction strategies?
See, I think overall, longer duration, if you see, maybe 2-3 years down the line, the cost reduction will definitely come. But currently, we are experimenting with so many models and with so many different areas that are actually going to increase the cost because of the investment in the AI that is going right now. So, for example, you might have seen in many cases that calls are getting automated through AI. And that's a big area of our operations, because buyers, between buyer, seller and IndiaMART, we do about 3 crore calls every month. And if some kind of an automation can happen between all of them and the insights can be generated, that could be huge advantageous to the buyer and seller as well as to the customers of IndiaMART. Similarly, we have been doing a lot of category-based management and trying to understand each B2B category and trying to create their specifications and units and values so that the seller's listing can be created in a manner that are perfectly suitable for a B2B marketplace. I think in that area, a lot of insights coming from these calls and PDFs can be useful going forward. So that should also improve the overall experience of the marketplace.
Interesting. So the experience is something which we'll be actually watching out for as well. But interestingly, Dinesh, so the question remains is the B2B space that's actually now opening up and more competition is also coming, especially with India and China's relation also improving, and a lot of Chinese websites are also getting access for Indian B2B suppliers as well. Do you see that as a competition, or do you see that the industry as a whole will be going up? What's your view on this? It's an industry specific question.
I think industry will gain from any collaboration. I guess we are not allowing China to kind of come and sell here their B2B products. And even if that happens, we will probably partner with whosoever wants to do any business in India. We will be welcoming them to advertise on IndiaMART. And so I guess overall for an industry, the more trade relations open up for all the countries, that will be beneficial for the overall growth of the business.
All right. So I'd just like to add one question. So is there any JV or a tie-up in the offing with a Chinese player in this
No, sir,
e-commerce
no.
space?
Nothing, nothing.
Well, that was the management of IndiaMART, but let's continue with our stock queries.